Now, some of our members like to help out the greater Toastmasters community, but others like to keep their help close to home. I'm talking, of course, about Fred Coop. Now, when I first joined this club, my mentor was Fred. And I learned that Fred is a pillar to this organization. He attends every single Toastmasters meeting. He's always there to offer a kind word to a new member or even an experienced member. And since I've known him, I know Fred is willing to do absolutely everything that Toastmasters asks him to do, except one thing. Give a speech. Now, when I asked him about it, he said, "If no speaker is perfect, then what's the bother in practicing?" Well, that's funny, Fred. That's very funny. And Fred is a funny member of the club. He likes to make lots of jokes about his hair, which I don't quite get, because he doesn't have any.
Well up there.
Regardless, I'm glad you're a member of our club, Fred. Now, Don is stepping down as our treasurer this year, and he did a very good job, too. We got our dues collected and submitted on time to World Headquarters, which is very important. And earlier this week, he told me, "Scott, I'm going to miss this job." And I asked him why. He said, "Well, it paid well." Turns out as treasurer, he's been taking home $100 a week. Which is probably the reason why this club had to raise the dues. Yeah, let's look into this when you become treasurer, when you fill in next year. Speaking of raising the dues, you might remember that the member who presented the whole dues fiasco to the club was Michelle. Now, Michelle has accomplished a lot since joining our club. She's gone back, gotten her master's degree, she's got a new job, and she's even going to be serving as president next year. Michelle is the type of person that takes responsibility by the horns. She is a self-made woman, which is unfortunate because that means she has no one else to blame but herself for her shortcomings. Michelle, I've got a piece of advice for you when you step in as president next year. If anyone asks you if you suffer from stress, just tell them that it's mainly because you're a carrier. Now, Barbara headed up our club's membership role, and hasn't she done a good job, everybody? Please have a round of applause for Barbara. We had 9 new members in 1 year, which is an excellent accomplishment for any Toastmasters club, and I think we might have even had more.
We're at 11.
I'm sorry, 11. Excuse me. 11. Thank you for correcting me on that. That's important.
That's right, we got a 10 for 10. And, you know.
That's important. I agree with you, Sandra. And I'll be getting back to you later. I think we might have had even more than 11. But Barbara has this habit of encouraging guests by telling them that based on their table topics response, they should go far. Unfortunately, many of them didn't realize this was a prediction and not a suggestion. So they never returned. Yep. Keep this in mind when you fill in next year. I'd like to recognize Dick, who's sitting back there. He received his Competent Communicator Award this year. Let's have a round of applause for him. Recognizing him, of course, because of his inferiority complex, which is totally justified. I mean, after all, you are the only member who was not voted in unanimously. Yeah, Cougar took objection to your membership. I remember that.
As a result, I have a lot to be inferior about.
This is true. While we're on the topic of Kudra, you've done a fantastic job as president this year. As area governor, I must say I kept a close eye on this Toastmasters Club, and I have to say that in the entire year that you served as president, I didn't see you make a single mistake. But then again, how could you? It was the other officers that did all the work. I mean, John paid the bills, Michelle ratified the bylaws, and Jen ensured that the club was on track to hit its DCP points. I don't mean to downplay the value of you opening and closing the meeting. You always did that with the plume. Your comments were cheerful and memorable. For example, I'll never forget last week when you said you participated in the Fremont Naked Bike Ride. But I'm hoping that the therapy will help. Yes, the members of this club certainly make it a notable organization, and the things they do certainly make membership worthwhile. In closing, I'd like to offer the following to the club. If everyone could raise a glass. May the best day of the club's past be the worst day of the club's future, and may we become the types of members that that goal would require.